All right, we are now live. The time is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, February 15, 2023. My name is Reggie Beloved, and I'm joined tonight by Mitou Charles. This is our second show. And Ms. Mo, I'm gonna remove you for a second. I'm sorry. Um, this is our second show in, I guess, a interviewish type of format where we're talking about polyamory, especially in the Haitian community. If you don't know, I started a group called Haitian Free Thinkers back in January of 2012 to kind of be a place for secular Haitians such as myself. I happen to be an atheist, and I started the group so that I can find other like-minded individuals. But we've blossomed. We've spoken to people from different walks of life, and we're everywhere. So if you're interested in the group, just search Haitian Free Thinkers, and that's us. You know, we're on every format pretty much you can think of. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook is where the group is. We have a page, etc. So tonight we're gonna do our second show in dealing with this topic that has garnered a lot of interest, which is polyamory, and Mitou is joining us again. The last show is on. If you want to look it up, it's on YouTube. You can like take a look at that. And yeah, so it's going to be like another great conversation. We already have people on board. So the format for tonight is going to be basically me and I. We're going to talk about certain topics, and then the second half we're going to allow people to like chime in. So yeah, so thank you for joining us. And without any further ado, I'll reintroduce you to Miss Mitou Charles.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Reggie. Good evening to the free thinkers. I am very excited to be here once again to talk about polyamory, and thank you for having me on your platform.
All right. Uh, well, last time it was wow. It's been about 2 weeks.
hmm
And time went by fast and slow. And by the way, happy belated happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was full of love and uh, and all that positive stuff. You know, I hope you guys had a good time. Um, I had a good day. I've been looking forward to this second show for a while. It's like I said, there's been a lot of interest from some unforeseen, I guess, people, but that's just the way it goes. A lot of times people um, are interested, but they're kind of shy to ask questions. And so this is what this is all about. So hopefully those people get a chance to join because I told them that we would be having a part two. And here we are. So let me tell you what we're going to touch on so you guys can get your mind ready with your questions. So, number one, is polyamory a form of cheating? So we're going to talk about that. Number two, poly and living arrangements, marriage and cohabitation. We're going to talk about that. Number three, different forms of poly. Number four, non-monogamy in poly. And finally, is being / living poly hard? So, number one, is poly a form of cheating? Mitou, is it cheating?
Before I start, I just like you, I want to wish everybody a happy belated Valentine's Day. I never really celebrated Valentine's Day in the past.
What?
So I don't know. It wasn't like a thing for me when I was younger. I had boyfriends. They always celebrated with me. They always celebrated me, but it wasn't a thing for me. Just like you see a lot of women like you must do this, you must do that. Now I had boyfriends who gave me chocolate, who gave me presents and stuff like that, but it was never a big deal to me. So I always appreciated somebody celebrating me on that day, but then I kind of feel kind of a little bit obligated before to do it. But now it's kind of like, you know what, if you want to celebrate, let's celebrate. So yeah, so happy Valentine's Day to everybody. But it's not, like I said, it's not like a big deal for me, but I'm happy to celebrate now. But yes, is polyamory a form of cheating? So I've heard, people say, oh, they just want to cheat, or they're just cheating and this and that. What is cheating? Like, could we define cheating? Because A lot of people, they'll tell you, oh, this person cheated. What did the person do? They had sex with somebody else. Okay.
Hmm.
So where does cheating start? What is cheating to somebody? Cheating to me is breaking the agreement that I have with you. So if I'm playing a game with you, Reggie, and we have certain rules, and then I break one of those rules, that's cheating, right? Because
Hmm.
I did not keep the agreement. So for every couple, cheating can look different. But to answer the question, polyamory is not a form of cheating because all parties involved are consenting to that lifestyle, that love style, and they're all in agreement with each other. So it is not a form of cheating. Cheating is when you deceive somebody. I'm not deceiving you. I say, Reggie, I'm with you. I'm with Johnny. I'm with Robert. Um, and Reggie and Robert and Johnny said, oh yeah, I don't mind at all. I would love to still be with you because I love you, or I want to build something with you. So we're all in agreement. We know of it. You don't have to be best friends. The people in the relationships don't have to be friends at all. They don't even have to meet if they don't want to. But typically, people like to at least know of their metas. Like we talked about last time, a meta is if I have two different partners, those partners are metas. They're not lovers, they're metas because they're not in a relationship with each other. So it is not a form of cheating because it's consensual. The relationship between all the parties are consensual.
All right. So thank you for clearing that up. Yes. So the key is, and this is again what I like about um, polyamory is the ability to be honest with yourself and with other people. To me, like it really starts with that and ends with that. It has very little else to do with everything else because everything else kind of goes from there. Because humans, we can be very complicated, and I think a lot of us want to feel safe with whoever we end up being with. Whether uh, you do it by honest means or a dishonest means. But with polyamory is just basically allowing yourself to be honest with yourself first, and then other people second. So thank you for clearing that up. Second thing is poly and living arrangements, marriage and cohabitation. So let's say you're out, and now are you going to live with somebody else? Talk about that. Like, how would that work? How do the arrangements work?
Personally, I don't plan on living with anybody. Um, it's not necessarily because I'm polyamorous. It's just I am loving my space. I have never really lived alone until after my separation slash divorce. And I am truly enjoying it because I've always lived with family. And this is my first time, unfortunately, in my adult life that I am the only deciding adult in the household. Yes, my children live with me, but I consider this living alone because I make all the decisions in the house. I pretty much, I'm the only adult in the house. So I love my space. And as much as I love spending time with my partners and everything, I don't see myself moving in with anyone anytime soon, whether you moving in with me or I'm moving with you. I don't see it happening. I'm not saying never, but for the time being, I don't particularly plan on living with anybody. Now, you can come and stay for days at a time, however many days we agree on, because we'll have to negotiate that too. And then after that, you just go. But a lot of people, they want to have a living partner. Hi, Star Rob. um, yes. So a lot of people want a living partner, and we call that a nesting partner in the polyamorous community. Some people, they want that. I have many friends. I have many people that I know. they want to live with somebody, they want to get married. Some want to get married legally, by the state or whatever, and some have just commitment ceremonies. There are so many ways to be committed to somebody. It's not just, let's go to the courthouse and get married. That's only a valid commitment. So, and for everybody, that looks different. But for me, I do not plan on cohabitating with anybody.
Okay. Um, okay, so that's your choice, but obviously other people have been able to make it successful. And I remember, I saw a video very long time ago about what some people call nation building. And if you're in the Pan Africanist movement, you might be familiar with what I'm talking about, which is basically people again joining, choosing to come together as a family unit for the purpose of helping each other out,
Mhm.
to raise children, to help with basically chores, to allow one person to basically do stuff like they probably would have a hard time doing had they been single, as in like you can go to school, you don't have to work. Um, but yeah, for depending on your situation, it might work for you. But
Exactly.
obviously, you got to talk about it, and hopefully, it's best for you. So that's living arrangements and cohabitation. Uh, Different forms of poly. You mean to tell me there's different? What are you talking about? Different forms of poly. What do you mean?
So let me back up a little bit.
Okay.
Startup said, hell no. um, Different forms of poly. So, like we talked about last time, we have two big umbrellas, right? We have monogamy over here, and we have non-monogamy. But since we're only interested in this umbrella over here, non-monogamy, that's what we're going to talk about for the time being. So under non-monogamy, you have so many different umbrellas as well. You have, swingers, you have open relationships, you have polyamory, polygamy, um, BDSM. All that's a bunch of stuff. Okay, so polyamory just falls under that umbrella. And within polyamory, you have different ways that people call it the way people poly. So it's pretty much the different dynamics that, yes, thank you, Rob. Um, it's the different dynamics that people are interested or envision for themselves.
Hmm.
There, and but unfortunately, the most known one is a triad, where people think, it's threesomes day in, day out, a man in a relationship with two women, that kind of stuff. But that's not all there is to polyamory. You have solo poly, which is somebody like me. I decide I date, I date, different people. I could choose to date X, Y, Z, A, B, C, however many I feel like I can handle. And I am still open to dating. Nobody's putting any restrictions on me as far as who I'm dating. Then you have the triads. Obviously, it's like one man to two women, or one woman to two men, and they're just closed, which like a triangle. So they're all in relationships with each other, which is actually probably the hardest form of polyamory. But for some
Why?
reason, people always go to it because they're thinking about threesome. Um, yes, yeah, pretty much. Uh, just because the first thing people think of polyamory is sex, and
Hmm.
they see three people, they think, oh, it's a couple usually seeking somebody else to join their relationship. A lot of times for various reasons, adding a third, like Rob said. It's sometimes they think that can fix their relationship. Just like a kid, having a kid is not going to fix your relationship. Adding a third person to your relationship is only going to be disastrous. But a lot of times we are not willing to do the work that it takes to be honest with ourselves, to figure out our problems, our issues, and things that we need to, I don't want to say fix within ourselves, but things that we need to work on before we can actually be with other people. And I'm sure you've seen it a lot lately where people are like, you can't love somebody else if you can't love yourself. It's that kind of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, but unfortunately, people always run to a triad to, as you know, to identify as a polyamorous. But it's actually one of the hardest because you have, let's say you have ABC in relationships. You have four different relationships in that triad because you have the AB, you have the AC, then you have the CB, and then you have the four of them, the three of them all together. So it's a
It sounds
lot.
complicated.
It can be complicated if the people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing as far as self work first and then working on their relationships separately, because there's going to be all kinds of stuff that's going to come up. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of work involved there. I've never had that experience, so I can't speak from it. But thank you for letting us know, giving us a little diagram. There's letters. I want to give a shout out to the people that are in the studio. Ms. Mo came on first. Thank you for joining. Joseph, Irby, it says device is not connected, so you probably have to give permissions to your device. And we have Star Rob who is joining us and chiming in. So thank you guys for joining. We'll let you guys come in a little bit. So thank you for letting us know about all that. And like I said, you have to be very emotionally mature about this stuff.
Thank
Let me
you.
tell you. Last time we talked about jealousy, and I think it's a feeling that I think all of us has experienced at least once in our lives. I talked about how I went to a poly meeting and I met a guy named G. I'll never forget that guy, and how he told me how he viewed his jealousy. His wife went on a date and joined us later with the group, and how he dealt with that. That was very interesting. I'll never forget that lesson. So, number 4, non-monogamy, and poly. What do you want to expand as far as that is concerned? What is non-monogamy and poly?
I mean, basically, just to say that polyamory is basically a consensual form of non-monogamy, ethical non-monogamy. People shorten it by calling it ENM, CNM, ethical non-monogamy and consensual non-monogamy. But because people would be like, "Oh, so you guys are just swingers," and it's like, no, polyamorous can be swingers, but swingers are not necessarily polyamorous because you find those people who are like, let's say it's a couple, let's say you and your wife, you decide you want to go play with somebody, right? You want to have a threesome or whatever. Typically, neither party want their spouse to be with that third person without them being present, so it's so many different things with, people tend to confuse certain things. So polyamory is just under the umbrella of non-monogamy. So yeah.
Can you, for the sake of definition, tell the people what exactly is a swinger, just so that we can be all on the same page?
So swingers are typically couples. You don't necessarily have to be married. It's just couples in a relationship that decide to engage with other people. It could be other couples or other single people for the sake of sex. Most of the time, it's just for pure sexual pleasure. Most of the time, you'll find a couple with the men saying, "I'm straight, she's bi." A lot of times, the woman is not necessarily bi, but has been coerced into doing things just for her husband or boyfriend's sake. So I'm not saying that's what all the swingers are, but swinging is basically, yeah, it is horrible. But swingers are basically people who are opening up their relationship to have uh, sex with other couples or other people that are single. Nothing wrong with that, as long as you are doing it because you want to do it, not because somebody's forcing you to do it.
That's a very interesting thing that I hope to come back to as far as um, doing things with people of, I guess, the same gender, because I guess you want to please your partner, or like some kind of, I guess, fetish. But we'll touch back on that. So is being slash living poly hard?
It can be hard. Again, it goes back to doing work on yourself, knowing who you are. Okay. So if you, everything can be hard, right? I know I've bought things before and I'm like, I'm not gonna read the instructions. I'm just gonna get to it because I'm in a rush to get to building this thing that I just got, and I want to see it put together. And then I skip the instructions, and it's roadblock after roadblock. I can't figure it out. That happened to me with a little entertainment center that I bought. I was like, I can't figure this out. I didn't do the prep work, which was reading the little manual that they sent with the thing that could help me. And then after probably 2 hours of frustration, then I go back to the little booklet and it's like, oh my God, this was so simple. Had I just taken the time to read the little book, I wouldn't be so frustrated and had to like spend waste all this time. So it's kind of like living polyamorously. You got to do the work on yourself to know who you truly are as a person before you engage into anything non-monogamy, because loving many, you're exposing yourself as well to having many heartbreaks. Some people are afraid of that. I used to be one of those people. I'm like, I don't want to fall in love. I don't want to love anybody because the heartbreak is just too much for me to bear. But you know what? No, because the enjoyment that comes out of loving somebody and being loved in return is far greater reward than the little heartbreak that may come later or may not come, or you may be demoted into a different kind of relationship. I mean, there's different ways of doing things, but being polyamorous can be hard, again, if you are not doing the work that you're supposed to be doing on yourself, and if
Are
you're not honest. Communication, learning how to communicate in general. We should know how to communicate as people, but it takes a lot more because, again, you have different people now that you're dealing with. Because I think a lot of us, a lot of people hide into monogamy, and it's a secure place to just be bad, because you're like, oh, well, where is he going to go? You know?
mhm.
So
All right. Well, you got to do work. You got to work on yourself, and you got to read the instructions.
that
So that's what I picked up from that segment. But where do we get the instructions for polyamory from? Literally, I learned about this as a term. Um, Pretty late in my life. I was in my early 30s. It just happened to I stumbled upon it, right? So
Mhm.
so that's that. So in a perfect world, like when would people learn about it? Because I mean, I'm telling you, it's not common in our
I wouldn't
culture.
say it's like specific instructions for polyamory specifically. It's because when you think of polyamory, it's different relationships. You know, I'm in a relationship with this person, with that person, with that person. So as a person, I'm gonna be horrible at monogamy, even if I don't know how to communicate, if I don't know who I am, if I'm relying on this person to make me happy when I'm not even happy with myself.
Mm,
So, in general, you just need to be good on your own before engaging with different many people, because it's going to be a lot harder. I wouldn't say it's a set of instructions necessarily to become a polyamorist. It's just as a person. Because once you know who you are, be a good person, be a secure person, then any form of relationship will be, I'm not going to say easy, because I mean, a relationship shouldn't be that hard. There's going to be little misunderstandings here and there because we're all human and we're constantly evolving, but it shouldn't be that hard. So if you can be a good person to be in one relationship, then you can be in several if that's what you want.
Awesome. All right, we're coming up to the halfway mark. It's going by fast, believe it or not, as always.
Oh my God!
So,
Wow.
so we were joined first by Miss Mo, and I see Joseph is waiting in the queue. Irby, your device is still not connected, so please just give permissions, and you should be good to go. And then Star Rob is chiming in the chat, but he dropped out the studio. So, who should we pick first? We have Ms. Mo who came on. Let's see if Ms. Mo has something to chime in. Ms. Mo, if you want to add something, this is your time. Okay, I think she's going to stay on mute. I'm going to put her down. We're going to go to Joseph. If Joseph wants to add something, we'll hear what he has to say. Mike is not connected, so we'll go to the next person. Irby, he's having the connection issues. Wait a minute. Somebody just popped up. Okay, Star Rob. Let me see if I can add you. Okay, he's at the bottom. Let me see here.
It's a woman.
Oh, it's a woman. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for correcting those pronouns for me.
I'm sorry that your thing was at the bottom, and I apologize. Welcome to the show.
It's okay. I was like,
he doesn't know who you are. She's the queen. She's a friend in one of the polyamorous group that I'm in, and she's everything.
I was like, oh my gosh, do I look that horrible today?
You look wonderful. Welcome. What would you like to add?
What would you like to know?
Well, who are you? How did you hear about it? Are you poly? What's going on?
I'm Star. My sister Peer Talk told me that they would be on tonight, and I'm about to go live on TikTok. Before I went live on TikTok, I came to drop in and show support to my fellow community members, because we are a family in a community that is pretty tight in our little circle, in our little group of people that we hang out with. But yeah, so show some support. Make sure there's no wrong stuff being because I even knew about it is because I posted a screen record of someone that I had to go on in a TikTok live and get them together because they were bashing polyamory because they had two bad experiences that under the guise of polyamory that weren't even polyamory, but people don't do their research. So people just be out here hollering out poly what? Because poly, you need that ending to know what it actually is. And then you need to dig deeper to figure out if that is actually what it is. Like, it's whole married men out here cheating under the guise of their polyam. But as soon as you ask to be put in a group chat with their wife just for confirmation, oh no, she wants to keep everything parallel. But even in parallel, they exist. Yeah. So that's like red flag number 10. 10 red flags go up at the same time. If I cannot say anything to your spouse, no, it's enough for me. Because that means you're just a monogamous cheater over here pissing in our pool, and we're not going to have it. We're not. Exactly. Because then you have people that are hurt like her by some cheating, lying people, and now she bashing a whole community of people.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to have it. So I had to jump in the box and straighten it out.
That we know you're going to do. She is one of the great advocates out there as well. I got a chance to meet Star back in 2019 at one of the poly meetups. We had a blast. I haven't
Always,
since then.
always fun. We always have a no. And see, and let me say, because that whoa that you just said is normally a whoa, as in, ooh, y'all was having orgies. No, this ain't that kind of party. That's what people, their minds, and you may not have been going there, but that whoa and how you said it and how quickly you said it led me to believe that in your mind it went to sex, which has nothing to do with a poly meetup. It literally has to do with us going to a bar, about
Yeah.
going to the club, drinking, having costume parties for Halloween. Like literally, that's what we do.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
orgies.
I know that.
So I just caught that. Whoa. I was like, wait a minute.
Thank you, because I think we have to be sometimes specific.
We have to because we get a bad rap. So
people's minds go there. You say polyamory, they're like, oh, so you're having sex everywhere, every corner,
which is that's another thing which you didn't touch on is there
Right.
are non-physical relationships in polyamory. That's a type of relationship. You can have a non-sexual relationship and it's a valid relationship and a valid commitment, that there's just no sex between the partners, but there's still love and commitment and they're partners.
There could be intimacy without sex.
Yes.
Because, and I guess
people get that all twisted up, because there are a lot of people that they're in committed relationships with people that they're not having relations with.
Yes, exactly. So
for years.
Yes.
That's why I love having other people on here, because my mind can't go everywhere. This is more like a little conversation kind of setup, so we haven't really structured anything, but it's a great input.
Yeah, I thank you for coming on and explaining all that, because a lot of people do think first thing about sex, and I've been harping on that. For me, it has very little to do with that.
And most of the time, very little time for that. Especially if you got local partners, if you nested, you got LDRs, which are long distance relationships, and you got to spread your time out amongst all them people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That ain't it. That ain't it.
Exactly.
People got real life out here. People out here living real life. It ain't got nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's great if that's what you're into, but if you're not,
exactly.
Well, my question is, Star, so how did you come upon the whole poly thing? Like, what's the history with you?
So that's my thing. Just like I was born biromantic, I was born polyamorous. I've always had the capacity to love more than one person, which is what polyamory means. Poly, multiple, amory, loves. Polyamorous, amorous meaning loves, poly meaning multiple, many loves. I can love more than one person at a time. That's who I am. I got a big heart. It's room for more than y'all, more than one person.
Mm.
And I like the option to have that. Now, I might not, but I'm always polyamorous. I might have one partner.
Or zero.
And I'm still polyamorous. I'm polyamorous just like I'm Black, just like I'm a woman, just like I'm bis, just like I'm queer, just like I'm disabled. I am all of those things. All of those things are me. I did not choose any of them. They all chose me.
They all chose you.
That's it.
So it's not like a thing you go and that's the problem. And that be them people that be messing up that girl, like, and had her like she was. People going searching for stuff to fix relationships. Those unicorn hunters, which is what she had.
That's another term that I think that we need to define for those who are unfamiliar. What is a unicorn besides a horse with a big stick on its forehead?
And for someone who is totally against unicorn hunters, I love unicorns. Like I have an Afrocentric unicorn with an afro, gold hoops, like
Oh,
chilling on the continent of Africa, like on my
love that.
arm.
So
And
a
I'm
unicorn is
taking
a horse. What is a unicorn? Like I said, for
a
those who don't
unicorn
know.
is a unicorn. A unicorn is normally a bisexual woman that is sought after by a couple that wants that woman to commit to being in a relationship only with them, and for her basically to be at their beck and call,
Yeah.
and she has no outside autonomy of her own. She's theirs
And she can be disposed anytime one of them
anytime.
don't need her anymore or they don't want her anymore. That's what a unicorn is. And a unicorn hunter is typically like a couple seeking that kind of.
And it's normally a couple seeking to fix their relationship, or a wife giving in to her husband who was cheating anyway, or her husband who was about to cheat. And so she just said, okay, whatever, we'll do it together.
Right.
Wow. So me to talk about coercion of basically people, and like that's really interesting to me. Like I've never really ran into that where a person told me like, yo, I really don't want to do this, but for the sake of whatever, we're gonna do this because that's
No,
what
they're not going to tell you that.
Right.
That's the thing. They're not. You're never going to hear that.
really.
Yeah, they're never going to tell you that. That is why I said that they mess it up for everybody else, because they out here being all lying and unethical out here in these ethical non-monogamous streets. They out here being unethical. They're not. No one's going to tell you that. That is why they are a hunter.
Yeah, it's just.
A hunter hides from its prey. The hunter sees the prey before the prey sees them. That's how you hunt.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So how do people prevent that from being hunted, I guess?
Vetting, vet. Just like I said, like I'll require to have a conversation separately and together, and to just be aware. I'm telling you, they come in like different groups screaming, I'm a unicorn hunter, without saying it.
Right.
Hey, this is I'm Mike. This is my wife in the picture, Sheila, and we looking for a third.
We're looking for a bi woman or a bisexual woman
to join our family.
Or fellas, you don't need to reach out or whatever. Like, because only the men is allowed to have some kind of sexual.
And then they want the unicorn to basically be free labor and keep their kids and cook and clean and be a nanny and a maid without pay. No indentured servitude. That I'm not signing up to keep your damn kids. No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Well, it's been a while.
That's what they're generally looking for. They're looking for an extra source of income to bring into their household, and they're looking for an extra pair of hands to be maid and mommy. And
a sex toy.
Yes. And mainly a sex plaything that they can throw away and discard at any moment. With no regards for that person's feelings.
It seems like you're saying that I don't know if you said out loud, but it sounds like you're saying that it's men that's mostly doing this and then the women are kind of going along. Is there such a thing where the women are driving that unicorn prey train, if you will?
Well, it wouldn't be a unicorn because a unicorn is a bisexual woman, but
why can't the woman be the predator? But
it's not called. But it's not called a unicorn hunter. Actually, it does have a name, and Hold on just a second. I'll tell you what it is. But that ain't the name.
Wow.
A unicorn is a woman, but it, it, hold on. Let me look it up for you. I'll tell you what the
Open
term
that
is.
light, star. Well, no, a lot of times too, Reggie, you will know when it's pretty much the woman speaking on the man's behalf.
Yes,
You
that's it's whoever's speaking on their behalf.
Right. You'll know when they're speaking on their behalf because that woman is not allowed to be with another man. Let her ask her husband or boyfriend, hey, I really would like to have a boyfriend. Oh no, they can't
Shut
have
it down.
that. They gotta be the only penis. We're all adults here. They gotta be the only penis in the relationship. Nobody, because again, in monogamy, people see their spouse and their significant other as
It's a dragon.
a dragon. That's right. I forgot the name too.
Yeah, it just slipped my mind, but it's a dragon.
Okay.
Basically, the reason why the names are mystical creatures that don't exist is because this foolishness really don't exist that they be wanting. They want
Mhm.
imaginary stuff that doesn't exist.
So a
Right.
dragon is a
Male,
Male unicorn.
basically.
okay. Okay.
But the reason why those terms are what they are, mystical fantasy creatures that do not exist, is because what these people are asking for is something that don't really exist.
Right. Right.
Wow. Okay. Well, I learned something new. I knew about unicorns, but I didn't know about dragons.
Mhm.
My goodness, there's a lot to learn there. But that's why we have these shows.
So
Uh,
I would say like maybe I could see a dragon hunting in a cuckold type situation.
Right.
again, cuckold. For those who don't know, explain.
They
That
better use Google.
Okay.
I know
They
you'll
what
find everything on Google.
did.
But basically it's just a woman who is in a relationship with two men or more, but she doesn't want them to be in a relationship with anybody else but her.
No, a cuckold is when the wife can sleep with whoever she wants to and have another male feature a partner while the husband has to sit over in the corner and watch
Oh
and
yes,
and
that's
and,
true.
and is
That's
not
true.
able to participate or and be degraded or whatever. That's what that is.
Recently I actually watched a show on that. This guy in California who does like little
It's interesting porn. I watch it. It's
it
one. It's one of my
was
categories.
so interesting. I was like, oh, okay. Yes.
Hmm. And it's usually white men and BBCs are
Mhm.
the uh dragons.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. A lot of learning is being done. Cuckolds, dragons, unicorns. I haven't heard about an elf yet. So maybe that's coming later on if we do have a part three. Um, so Star, you got something else? You got another term?
No, 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 no. Hold on.
Okay.
I just
Um,
saw just what I just think that I saw.
I have
Um,
a question for you guys. So I've had different times in my life that mostly through the media, I heard about what possibly can be described as polyamory. Do you have those moments where you can say, you know what, now that I understand what I know now, that's probably was a polyamorous situation. For me, an example would be the movie She's Gotta Have It. I don't know if you guys are
Oh,
familiar.
I love that.
Oh, I love, love, love. She's Gotta Have It.
There's a show as well.
Which one?
There's a show. She's got to have it.
Yeah,
It's yeah.
but the
I
movie is
did.
so
I did watch the
classic.
movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
the movie is so classic that anything else is kind of like it's not as good. So
I mean,
she's
it
got
was
it.
definitely polyamorous. I would say because they did know about each other. The guys, they did know about each other.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. They did. So that was a. I love that movie. I just think artistically it was wonderful. But the woman, she was just so she was so magnetic. I just loved the character. I loved the man. And to me, like it represented different aspects of myself, you know, as a young person looking at it, and it just was just a beautiful, wonderful movie. So that was an example of like an example of media before I knew the term.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any other books, maybe movies or shows that kind of
Oh, there's a lot of books. I'm telling you, Google is your friend.
Yes, there are a lot of
Yeah.
books out there. Ethical Slut, More Than Two. I
well
mean,
not
so
well,
many.
I'm talking about situations where polyamory is hinted at but not necessarily
Oh,
No,
named.
because most of the time in these shows, it ain't right. So that's why I don't like giving shows, because most of the time what they're showing is these triads, which are level 1,000 right before you beat the game, type situations that are figments of their imagination and don't really work. It don't
right.
work like that. So that's
Right.
why I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey, you know what I'm thinking about?
Hollywood does not do a good job of that.
We have a new person that probably wishes to come on. So Star, I'm gonna
I'm headed to TikTok.
Thank
okay.
you so
Thank you for
much
stopping by.
for stopping by. Thank you for the support.
All right.
Uh,
We have Fuzzy that I'd like to bring on. Fuzzy, how are you?
Good evening.
Hi,
I'm well. Good evening. Hello.
how are you?
Who is this beautiful lady that we have on here? What's her story?
She's the Haitian queen, the Haitian
Oh,
goddess, the Caribbean
oh,
queen.
I've heard about the Haitian goddess, Haitian hottie. I think that's what I heard about.
Haitian hottie. You got it,
Yeah,
Fuzzy.
yeah.
What you got for us today, Fuzzy?
Well, I will admit, at first I was a little early. I jumped on at 9, and then I lost track of time. And luckily, because there's so much information and such a good audience participation and everything, you're still on. So I'm happy to be here to say that I am enjoying this series and the information, and also to say that I'm actually one of the Haitian Hottie's partners. Just to
Hi, Fuzzy. Look at Reggie's like, whoa.
what? Yes. So
Yeah, I didn't know.
yes, I'm one of her partners, and I thought that I'd come on and just participate. That's
Thanks for
basically it.
coming on, baby.
And greeting, no problem at all.
All right. So, I mean, what's your story? What's your background? How'd you hear about it? Because again, this is not common.
No, it isn't. The background, it's been about, I've been in doing a open relating for about 13, 14 years now. I'm married with 2 children. My wife and I date separately, independently, and it grew. You know, we morphed into this lifestyle. We were curious about things. We knew that our life needed some more definition about how we wanted to relate with not only ourselves, I'm talking about my wife, and also outside of our relationship. So we are so we've gone through, you know, quite a bit. You know, didn't realize all of the type of terms that they had for it, and actually how much of a life there is outside of just monogamy. Just it wasn't something that was brought up very often in at least in the universe that I live in. And so it was a discovery period. And as you go through it, you learn through your experiences. Some are are bad, but most of them are good. And if you keep the conversation and honesty and communication open, you will learn. And hopefully you will move along in positivity. That's really what it's about. I don't think this would have been something that I was mature enough, though, to handle in my 30s, early 30s and 20s. So yeah, it's been a journey it's yielded very good results as far as I'm concerned in my life.
Awesome. I'm glad that you've evolved and gotten to a place where you can be where you're at and be happy. And look, you have me too as someone that can be a part of that journey, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just it's very promising going forward. We are fairly new. We have a lot of new relationship energy that we hope to build upon. I would say, if I would speak for her or myself.
Yes.
Put my glasses on there. So yeah.
What about the
I don't know what
children?
else to tell you. I try to keep it simple because my life is difficult enough around and with just living life and trying to raise a family and be there for folks. So I try to keep it simple. I try to find people who have like-minded thinking and like to be try to keep it drama free.
I understand. One thing that I was curious about is you said that you have two children. Like how do you approach that with them?
Well, they're young adults. We had to one is 21, one is 17, and the youngest one, based off of her maturity level, we waited for a while to kind of tell. My wife and I have a lot of friendships and associations, both men and women. I've always had female friends, so it wasn't anything that we had to introduce them to something different. If daddy was going out with some friends, then that was, they wouldn't think one way or another. So my oldest one, who we told early on, I would say maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, when she was right around 15 or so. And she pretty much shrugged her shoulders. I understand, daddy, that type of thing. And asked them if they had any questions, let her know that, no, we're not. Daddy isn't moving on. Mommy isn't moving on. Anything new, or leaving. And based off of what the youngest one, how she was growing up and how she dealt with adversity, we waited until we thought she was old enough to be able to handle it, and she's fine with it. Matter of fact, she speaks of Mitou all the time.
Awesome. Wow. I mean, what can I say? A live example of some positivity, and you exhibit everything that we try to talk about and promote here: communication, honesty, and we have a living, real life example of that. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I didn't expect one of Mitou's friends to join us, but welcome.
Surprise.
I thank you. Yeah, surprise. Partners.
Partners, yes.
So I thank you for your time. I'm going to try to get Irby and maybe Miss Moser. Looks like Irby got his situation fixed, but thank you.
Thanks, Fuzzy.
If we have a part 3, we hope that you can join us again.
Sure.
But this is the Q&A part. So thank you for joining. Let me see if Irby will join us. You have a very good night, Fuzzy.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's see if Irby has something. He's been. Oh, look at this guy. Herbie, ça va fait, man.
Jose Water, man, we have a lot going on, so that's why I had to keep the camera off because we do have work in the morning, and had to do a little prep.
Listen, the night is not better because you are here. Tell us what you got, brother.
Nah, I mean, because for me, it's like I just wanted to ask a question when Star was there. I just wanted to ask her because one of the things that she was saying that we all have the capability of loving. Well, she said she always have the capability of loving more than one person, and I believe that we all do have that capability of loving more than one person. The biggest issue that we have is the intimacy or physical intimacy with more than one person. And for some of us, we can manage it. For others, it is rather difficult to do. So, the question I had really is just maybe to enlighten some other folks, because for me also to get some more information about it. How can you be sure to keep that separate? Because you do, meaning that the different lives that you are having with the different partners, how do you keep that separate where you understand that, okay, because you're building a cocoon with a whole bunch of people, right? So with that cocoon that you're building, how do you nurture that for it to blossom to what it's supposed to be? Because this is partner, it's a friend. But then again, how do you nurture that so that that relationship can blossom or flourish and be what it's supposed to be?
Let me ask you a question. How do you nurture your friendships? Like, how do they grow? Like, do you feel like you have to get rid of somebody in order for you to become close friends with Reggie? Or can you nurture your friendship with Reggie and Johnny at the same time and still be as close as you guys can be?
No, of course. I mean, this is it, because this is it. We have different interests. So it's like, okay, dude, I'm friends with you. Then yeah, we could talk about this because this is what our common interest is, and each person has their common interest. But me and Reggie and then me and Johnny, we ain't sleeping with each other. You know what I'm saying? This ain't that type of party. So what I'm saying in essence is like you having a relationship with a person. Yes, it's personal. How do you build that? Because I'm curious about that. This isn't now like Star was saying is that we can have physical interaction with multiple people and be able to manage. That's not a big issue, for some people. You can manage it. The emotional part of it is what's difficult to manage. Now, when you bring that in terms of polyamory, because Mitou, you and I talk, it's like, how do you really nurture that relationship? Because the way I see it is that, yes, everybody may know about each other. How do you nurture that to make sure that, okay, this person is fulfilling every aspect of life. This person is fulfilled. That person is fulfilled. And I know we've talked about one time we were like, yeah, your cup is full. How do you make sure that their cup is full as well in the relationship that you're having with them?
Well, I see it as I feel like typically when we're in relationships with people, we always think that we have to be everything for them, but you don't have to be. I don't want to be everything for somebody or anybody, because I'm not everything that you're going to want. I'm not everything that you're going to need. So I think we need to get out of that mindset of trying to be all for somebody. Once you get out of that mindset, you're gonna be okay with the idea that, you know what, I have this relationship with this person and this is what we enjoy doing together and all that stuff, and I don't have to be this other part. Because let's say, for example, I love dancing. I love Latin dancing, right?
Mhm.
And I know for sure one of my partners does not even really care for it.
Mhm.
Now, let's say we're in a monogamous relationship, right? So
Mhm.
I love to go dancing. He doesn't. Am I supposed to stay home and be miserable and not go dancing and enjoying life, enjoying what I do, what I love to do? Because he,
Fuchita de Olacayo.
yes, right? Because he doesn't like doing it, or do I drag him with me when I'm going dancing and make him miserable because he doesn't even really want to be there? You know what that brings? It brings resentment
Yeah,
at
contact. Yeah.
some point.
Mhm.
He may do it the first time, he's okay with it. The second time, he's okay with it. But every time it's like, okay, he's starting to be resentful of the whole situation. So it's the same thing in relationships. You cannot be everything for everybody, right? Because I know they always like be a lady in the street and a freak in the bed, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of times, monogamous, I'm talking monogamous right now, as a woman, you're supposed to be the mother,
Mhm.
the homemaker, the
Mhm.
maid,
Mhm.
the teacher.
Mhm.
But also, when the husband needs you to be a freak, you need to be able to switch that light,
Mhm.
that switch very quickly to
Mhm.
become that freak in the sheets that he's looking for.
Amen.
Otherwise, he starts saying like, "Oh, she's boring. Oh, she doesn't want to do this. Oh, she doesn't want to do that. Oh, she doesn't want to have sex today." Again, let's talk about the woman's anatomy. Our bodies go through so much on a monthly basis. We have a very small window to where we truly can enjoy sex, right?
Mhm.
But as a guy, you don't necessarily have blockages like that, right? So you can technically, I'm not saying, you can't have bad days. Technically, you could have sex anytime you want, right? So when your wife is not ready or your partner is not ready to have sex, but you're ready to go, society gives you a free pass. Oh, she doesn't want to have sex with you. You should be allowed to go do this and
No,
do
no,
that,
that.
because we've
Mhm.
heard that. So nurturing a relationship doesn't have to do with just the sex part, because the kind of person I am in bed with one partner is a whole different person with another partner. We do different things. We sex differently. Everybody has their thing. The way I relate with somebody, the stuff that I do for fun with one is not the same thing that I'm most likely going to do with the other one, because they're two different people, three different people. And again, even in bed, it's going to be two, three, however many partners you have. All of those experiences are going to be different. So you just nurture each one of them for what they are, not really be stuck in the mindset that, oh, I have to be everything for this person.
Yeah, you answered the question a little while ago. One by like, um, be be with the individual and pretty much follow the cues for each individual as to what their preference are, and then continue on down that way. That's what I get out of it. Just like,
Mhm.
the individual is gonna be, they have their own character, their own likes and dislikes. So that makes follow each unique situation, and because you don't have a blueprint for every situation. There's not a blueprint that, okay, you take that, this is the same that you can apply at another relationship. So you just follow the cues as you go along, and make it happen. So
Exactly.
yeah, I got it. I got it. uh,
Thank you. Sorry, I'm looking for my laptop charger
mhm.
because I see that the light is coming a little bit. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Well, what other questions do you have, Irby?
I mean, not a question per se, but like I said at first, for me, it's like I said, we all have that capability, but because of societal reason or conditioning, or however we want to call it, um, that multiple partner business, it's not. It looks bad upon right now. It's frowned
Mhm.
upon by some. So, um, things are different, and I believe things will be changing soon. So the changes are coming, but Yeah, it's going to take a little while for us to kind of be acceptable of the different lifestyle that are out there. But Reggie, man, I want to commend you on the job that you're doing by bringing awareness to this. Me too. Keep doing the work that you do, and
Thank you for calling
I'm gonna
back.
try to join. I'm gonna try to join as much as I can, man. Keep it going.
All right, thank
Hi,
you.
All right,
Irby. Thank
yes,
you.
sir.
All right. So it is just 5 minutes past an hour since we started this wonderful broadcast. For those who joined, thank you. Wow. 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 I did not expect some
Congratulations.
things. Yeah. Yeah. So we had some good participation, met some cool people. Wow. How do we wrap this up? Well, I want to say thank you again, Mitou, for sharing everything. I think there's going to be I think there's going to be demand for more. We'll see if we can put together a part three. We don't want to make it, I guess, too much because there's always a lot to talk about.
That's
Um,
so
I,
much to talk about.
I learned some things, which is always great. I learned about dragons, hunters. Sounds predatory in nature. I guess one thing that was bouncing in my mind as we wrap this up is, do you think it's an advantage for the people that in the poly community to be bisexual? Because
I mean, for anybody, for that matter, because if a woman is bisexual, so technically she's open to more love in that sense, not just from men, just from women and men. So you get the end of both worlds, and for men as well. If you're bisexual, you can be with a woman or with a man, however you please. So it's pretty much for anybody, and let's not really look at those situations as a poly thing, because
no,
we need to look at as a person, like the freedom. But yes, being poly, um actually, I feel like it kind of reduces your pool of people to choose from, because a lot of people are afraid to be or live as to live a polyamorous life. Some people are polyamorous, but they are afraid to come out. Or and then like personally, I don't want to date any monogamous people, just because I don't have it in me to promise you that I will love only you, and I don't want to deal with, because some monogamous people, they don't mind being in relationships with polyamorous people. Um, they choose to stay monogamous with that person, while the poly person that they're with, have other relationships. They don't mind that. A lot of times, from stories that I've heard, it's fairly difficult, because there's so much that's being ingrained in that monogamous person, that person most of the time is not even willing to work on, for you to be able to have a happy relationship with that person and be happy in your other relationships without that person interfering. So personally, I do not care to engage with anybody who is monogamous, um, just because I don't have the patience right now.
all right. Okay, well, it's been another great show. What would you like to say to wrap it up?
Well, I want to say thank you again for having me on here. I really enjoyed this kind of conversation. It's just so chill, good information, and like I said, I like having people jump on here that are polyamorous as well. Just because I can't think of everything. It's always like so much, and then later on you're like, oh, I really wanted to talk about this and we didn't talk about that. Somebody may bring it up. And
Let me see if Ms. Mo can uh, join us because she's been there since the beginning. Every time I add her, she stays on mute. So let me see if she is able or willing to talk.
okay.
Ms. Mo, are you on? Do you want to speak? This is your time before we wrap up. I cannot unmute her. All right. Okay, that's cool.
Herself. Um, So yes, thank you for having me. Anytime you want me, I think somebody else already asked me. I think next week, to be part of a show
Mm-hmm.
about polyamory again. And I plan. This is what I plan on doing is starting a podcast. Now, anybody who knows how to do those things, come help because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm always so, I was just telling Reggie, I'm so excited. I always get excited talking about relationships and especially polyamory, sexual relationships, all of it. The stuff that a lot of people would like to talk about, but are afraid to openly talk about them. Like they're not part of who we are, they're not part of life. I would like to bring those things to light and more like a conversation. I'm not really looking to educate anybody. We're just having a conversation. We're exchanging ideas. We're exchanging knowledge. So that's the point of my podcast. I will be having a podcast. I am hoping to start in 2 weeks' time,
Mm-hmm.
and probably will do it about twice a month. And we will insert anything polyamory, or I mean, it doesn't have to be strictly polyamory, but I will start with polyamory, and then we'll also talk about certain things that are taboo in our community, especially. But that's the plan. So if you guys want to keep up with me, follow me, like my page on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. It's Mitou Charles, Mitou Charles. If you type it in, on Instagram, it's gonna pop up as Mitou Charles and it's Sans Creole. That's my music uh, page. And then on Facebook, my I guess my personal page will be Mitou Charles. So follow me so you can stay updated on when the podcast is starting and also when Reggie will have me here again so we can have another fruitful conversation.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so go ahead and follow me too. My name is Reggie Beloved on Facebook. Haitian Free Thinkers, if you search on Google, will be us, me, Instagram, YouTube, the whole nine, everything. Facebook is where the group is. I got the number, I got the Google number, and it's also WhatsApp enabled. So if you're in Haiti, you're in Timbuktu, you're underwater, as long as you have WhatsApp, you can reach that number. You can text and leave a message and you'll find us. But we're open. Thank you for your time. Again, Haitian Free Thinkers is a group for Haitian people who are secular, open-minded. I chose the name carefully because a lot of people are very kind of shy about adopting names like being an atheist, like I am. But this is part of the thing that the void that I realize that's big in our community as Haitians. We don't talk about important things, whether it's relationships, sex, money, religion. I mean, so many things. I feel like we're behind, and hopefully, I can do my part to kind of bridge that gap. So, again, thank you for your time. And yes, I will be helping you. Just reach out to me. Um, Technology has made it very easy. It just depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. So, having said that, we're going to wrap it up. Again, thank you. Thank you guys for watching. The show will be on YouTube very soon and we look forward to the next one. It should be in about 2 weeks' time. I gave me to the hint of what the next topic is. I would love to get your feedback about what we talked about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, very important topic. Yeah, so we'll wrap it up. Me too. Have a very good night, and thank you guys for joining. Thank you for everybody that participated, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.